All right, so I found this couple on Instagram. I kept seeing like a few videos of them. Apparently, with their testimony. Basically, she cheated. I guess like some years ago or something like that. And they've, I guess, for the most part, have worked through it. But I think that's very weird to be putting on social media when no one asked and no one would have never known unless you keep talking about it. But I see all type of red flags in this relationship, and I was on Instagram and I saw that, and I saw that they did a podcast with this man, with the Dear Future Wifey, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta see this for myself. Let's just watch this together and see what we get from it.
People that live a lit life. I know I coined that, which means living intentionally and transparently, and they are the epitome of that. So without further ado, welcome to the Dear Future Wifey podcast. My homies, Keith and Raven Hartwell. How y'all doing?
Great.
All the way from ATL.
Yep.
So how y'all feeling today?
Feeling good, man. Had a good flight coming in, so I'm enjoying Dallas, the scenery and everything like that. So yeah.
Have y'all been to Dallas before?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, why do you think I have y'all on the podcast?
The impact of the testimony.
The impact of the testimony. We're gonna call this episode "She Cheated, He Forgave."
I like it.
I do too.
So let me tell you why this is so important. I'm trying not to get emotional because I tell people that.
Why would you get emotional about it? Go ahead, though.
I bring guests on my podcast because it has to relate to my past, my present, or my future. And so y'all are the epitome of something that I wanted to do when I was married. When I was married, I cheated on my wife, cheated on her actually multiple times, but I've always wanted to come out and share that story while I was married. And so I talked to her, I said, man, listen, man, I don't want to be one of those dudes that stepped out and I can't help other men understand how to rebuild trust and the damage of broken trust. And I said, hey, can I share this testimony on Facebook? And she was like, no, I don't want you ever sharing that because I don't want to have to answer questions by my family or whatnot.
Which is funny that he says that because that's literally what my boy is over here doing. Like, you didn't have to put it out there for everybody to know. What happened in the dark should, stay there. Once you bring it to light for everybody to judge and shit, you can't be mad at people's opinions because you're the one bringing it to the public. And this man right here, my brother in Christ right here, is suffering in silence. But let's continue on with his demise.
Or answer questions why I stayed. And so I said, I respected that decision, but I felt like I wasn't able to fulfill my purpose. I felt like the cheating, the infidelity didn't have the testimony in it by allowing other people to be set free. And so when I saw a video that you posted, Raven, you posted a video that went viral. I saw it a few months ago, and I said, that's amazing. It was a video you was dancing. I'm so glad trouble don't last always. And I said, first of all, she don't know nothing about that song. That's before her time. But I said, I love the fact that your husband was present in that video. He's present in those videos, standing like the king that he is.
Appreciate that.
Yes,
A lot of people say that, we all know that men cheat. We've heard it dozens of times. But we normally don't ever get a chance to hear a man forgiving his wife for infidelity. So Keith.
Yes.
I'm going to jump right in. What made you forgive her?
The main thing that made me forgive was really just like I always saw my parents go through different things growing up, but I also had the opportunity to see them work through it. And so seeing that, okay, yeah, it may not be the same as somebody just having an everyday argument or anything like that, but recognizing that this is the person that I said my vows to, that we made this covenant not only between ourselves, but with God, this is somebody that I already said I'll be willing to work through things for better or for worse.
Yes.
And this is just one of those things that falls into the worst category, but we made these vows. I want to try and work this out. And so I had to make that decision with God. And then also too, like, it's a different person when, as you know, like when you had your moments of stepping out, you're a different person than who you were when you first stood at the altar with that person.
Facts.
And every single time when I thought about even the thought of leaving, I would see us back at the altar. And I remember the person that I stood in front of, and then looking at her during that time and during that moment, it was a different person. So I understood that, okay, God, whatever we going through, this ain't the same person I married, but I know she's still in there. And I know that you're going to be the one that's going to be able to pull her out.
Good.
Ooh.
If Jesus can't save these hoes, why are you trying? What make you think you greater than Jesus, nigga?
I'm gonna just say this, bro. And this is how I live my life, and people could tell me I'm wrong all day. I don't care. And when you're in a relationship, when a man cheats versus when a woman cheats, it's completely different. It's completely different. It's different when she cheats. It's completely different when the woman cheats versus when the guy cheats. When the guy cheats, it's, you know, maybe he was just too high, you know, thinking too highly of himself and got, you know, full of himself and shit like that. But when a woman cheats, when your woman cheats, it's different, because your woman's not finna just give it up to anybody unless you're marrying a hoe, right? So when your woman does decide to step out and she does cheat, she's have to find someone who's way better than you and on all type of categories where you just not fulfilling, because that's the only reason why she'll step out. She ain't gonna cheat on you with some bum nigga from the street. So when a woman cheats, it's way more impactful to the relationship. And here we got my brother here making a stand for it. Go for it, my man.
So I just had to put my faith into God.
So Keith and Raven, people hear y'all.
The religion is what's holding it together, and it's all a fallacy. But let's keep going.
Our testimony, they think that thing happened 6 months ago or 2 months ago or a month ago. Let's put context around this. Because people be like, I can't believe they just seem like everything fine.
Right.
She just cheated on him yesterday, and they laughing about it. Yeah. They ain't taking this thing seriously. Let's put context around it. Yeah. So let's put some context around it. Raven, how long ago was this?
This was nine years ago now.
9 years ago.
9 years ago. We are 29.
If it happened almost a decade ago, and I'm just now finding out about it, like on Instagram and shit, why the fuck are y'all? Why is it still being brought up? That's his fault. That's his fault for not standing on how he really feel, bro. Ain't no way.
We got married at 20. So yeah.
This happened like around the time when we were turning 21, shortly after we hit 21, somewhere around that time frame. So yeah, it's been a while, a long time. So
people look at y'all relationship now and see it thriving, and they wonder, how did y'all get here? We're going to go take some steps back. Y'all were 20 years old. You met her at what age?
We met, originally the first time we met I was 17. I think she had just hit 17 as well. So yeah. So we were 17 when we first met.
Well, you started smiling when you said that. So what happened? So we're gonna unpack this. So y'all were you said you were working at the mall?
Yeah, so I was working at the mall. We both were born and raised in Las Vegas. So I was working at the mall at a Finish Line shoe store. And so her cousin, her best friend walked past the store. We kind of like shared eyes or whatever. And then next thing I know, her cousin came running back in the store. I was like, oh, my cousin want to talk to you. So she gave me her number. And so we started talking for a little bit. Around that time, I was getting ready to leave for school. And so I'm not gonna lie, my thought process was, I'm a young guy that's about to go play college ball.
I ain't got time to be locked up in a relationship.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna be single. And so ended up going out to school probably like a month.
Hey, if any fellas were to seeing this right now, if you were in that situation where you going to college and you in a relationship and you're like, I don't know if I gotta choose between, being single or being in this relationship because I love my girl, leave her. Be single in college and have your fun. Just take my advice, bro. Just do it. Don't Go for it.
Month into school, I got into another relationship. She saw it and heard about it. We had like a year and a half of just no contact at all.
Yeah.
Like she was kind of mad at me, and so we kind of went our separate
Also,
ways.
what happened when you went to college? You told her that you weren't trying to be in a relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how'd you feel hearing that, Raven?
It was devastating because I knew I wanted to be with him.
You knew that.
Selfish.
I knew that for sure.
Selfish.
So that wasn't no puppy love type thing.
No, I knew I wanted to be with Keith.
Stop the
How
cap.
could you be so sure about that at what, 17, 18 years old?
He treated
question.
me differently than any other guy that I had ever dated. You know, he was kind to me. Ooh, I know I said I wasn't gonna cry. He was so sweet to me, and he still is. He took me out on dates, and he represented someone that I always I never had that with my dad. So for him to display that love that I was looking for really made me attached to him. And then too, like my family, the very first time like he met my family, they loved him. So I knew that I wanted to be with him.
Forever.
Yes.
So, Raven, as you began to talk,
Y'all buying that shit? Y'all actually buying that? He was so nice to me. That is so typical. That is so typical. Nice guys, that saying, nice guys finish last. So this is it right here.
talk about
He's a good man. I ain't gonna lie. So
old Keith over there, you got teary eyed. What put words behind those tears? Why talking about him and his kindness? Why is it bringing tears to your eyes?
no, why does that make him different? That's the question. But okay.
I love him. Because he's literally, not to get biblical, but he really is a representation of Jesus. Like literally it was through him that I was even able to really see the love that God has for me. Being that I did something so foul, so wrong. I think when you get saved, or when you say you believe in God, or we're like, oh, I love God, I don't think you really get it until it's something that when you do something wrong, and then you see that love hasn't changed. They're still the same. It's powerful. So I honor him. I respect him.
After you cheated, and then continue to remind the public that you cheated, that's how you honor and respect him?
I love him. That's where it comes from.
So do you feel that the feeling that you have from him now is a whole lot more powerful because of how he loves you through your worst days?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go back, because I want to unpack y'all relationship so we can get to what happened or whatnot, and how y'all overcame that, because that's beautiful. Because here it is, he went off to college. He said he didn't want a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
He booed up now. You done found out about it, got your little heart broke. And how did y'all bounce back from that?
So I was in a relationship.
How you gonna be mad then if he in a relationship? Y'all both in a relationship.
This
Selfish. What the fuck? Go ahead.
was years later, right?
Yeah, so it was after I had already got into my relationship.
Yeah.
And I think at that point when she saw that, she was kind of like, okay, well, she thought I was moving on completely, and it was just never going to be something that would come back again. And so at that point, she had got into a relationship.
Yeah, I was in a relationship with someone who was in the.
This is the epitome of wanting to have your cake and eat it too. I guess they're going to different colleges or whatever, but either the way, my man wanted to do his own thing, live his life, and now she wants to keep tabs on him. Selfish, bro, selfish. While she's still doing her thing, but she want to keep, bro, that's selfish.
Military. I was actually living in Washington.
Oh, she was with a military. Hold
and
on.
it trip with someone who was in the military. I was
Oh shit, she was with someone in the military. That's interesting. I know how that go.
actually living in Washington, and he actually had a wife, and I didn't know. I had no idea. And it's funny how this all plays out.
Yeah.
It literally all plays out. And this is why I say, like,
Funny, weird, not funny, haha, but like funny, weird. Yeah. Funny how that plays out, right?
you reap what you sow. Even if you don't, you really don't know. Like, it could be an accident. You reap what you sow. Yeah. But yeah, I was in a relationship. I had got out of that relationship by way of finding out that this guy was married. Moved back to Vegas, and around that time that I had got out of that relationship, he actually ended up getting out of his relationship. Yeah. Literally the exact same time. And all of a sudden he hit me up on Twitter.
Yeah.
And
That was about the only thing I wasn't blocked on.
yeah.
She had you blocked, brother?
Yeah. So I'm like, man, I can't find her on Facebook. I know she still got it. And so I'm
Came
like,
up invisible like a bug.
man, I'm telling you. And that's one thing, like, if I'm dedicated to finding something,
You gonna find it
yeah,
out.
I'm gonna find it. So I was like, okay.
You gonna pop
You remind me of how I used to be. That's another story for another time.
up at her mama house, huh?
Right. And so I reached out, and I was still in school finishing up that semester, but because of my previous relationship I was in, we were living together at that time. And so my living situation, that fell apart. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to go back to Vegas to finish up that following semester. And so I messaged her. We ended up going on a date on Christmas of 2012 and hung out, and we were talking for that next like month or so. And then we officially got into our relationship January 25th of 2013.
So Raven, were you waiting on him when you said when he went
Hell
off to
no.
school? Were you literally waiting
Hell no.
on him since you believed that was going to be your husband?
No.
I did not wait on him. No.
Okay.
No. I was so angry with him. I just
How can you be? That is so selfish. Go ahead though. Go ahead, Queen. Say what you need to say.
decided to move on myself. And then going through other relationships, it was really terrible. Honestly, like, why did you have to leave? Because
you done put me out here
Yeah,
with these savages out here. Look what you did to me, Keith.
why did you? Yeah, but it's not his fault. I had
It's not.
deep things going on inside of me. I needed to get through, and going through different people.
Oh my God.
The love that I
Oh my God.
Oh my god! Even though they broke. Oh my god!
it's not his fault. I had deep things going on inside of me. I needed to get through, and going through different people. The love that I was looking for, it was him the whole time. It was just him the whole time.